Hello everybody and welcome to episode 2 of Wins the Internet. I'm your host Des O'Gorman, and if you joined us last time you can tell that it was a nail-biting round full of attacks and chills and thrills and things that might not even make that episode. I guess there's only one way to find out when the edit comes around. I am still joined by the winner of the last round, Mr. Kenny Boyle. Kenny, how does it feel being...
Stop, keep going.
Oh, sorry, well, we meant, Kenny, we love you.
That's more fear, to be absolutely honest. I'll accept either.
So you ruled the internet with an ironclad infinity gauntlet of pain and suffering?
Well, for the people at home, you know how during the course of the last week your internet keeps dropping out? That was me.
My God. What an evil, evil man. But let's see if his reign continues, as he will be pitted once again by Mr. Ashley Nathaniel Price. Ash, who for some strange reason is recreating the boxer pose from the 1920s.
You say for some strange reason, yet you keep saying my middle name is Nathaniel.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because I want to see if it keeps
Mr.
going.
Des Potato O'Gorman.
Oh, gee. Kenny, no offense, but I think you are going to keep the internet for a while.
Remember last week when Ash called me racist, then he called the only Irish guy in the room a potato?
I know. Yeah. Do you remember that, Kenny?
I remember that.
Technically, that's xenophobic, not racist.
Oh, good. So he threw a technicality in there. Guess what? -2. So, Ash, see as how you were off to a rip-roaring start. Do you think you'll win the internet this time?
The internet loves an underdog.
Yeah. It's not you, mate. So, as we move straight into GIF of a meme, this is where I've asked both of our contestants to bring in their best example of a GIF or a GIF or a meme or a meme or a photo or something that basically encapsulates everything about the internet that they love dearly. And I think, Ash, let's start with you for this. What have you decided to bring in? Do you want to hype it up a little bit before I am, as per normal, completely disappointed by whatever it is?
Boomers don't understand computers.
Oh God, he's off to a rip-roaring start.
That's basically what this is. It's. I have nothing much to say about this actually. This is just a really silly, funny little GIF.
Oh, it's a GIF. Good.
It's a GIF. I got a GIF. Got a GIF. GIF a goff.
You've got a GIF.
GIF
Okay.
goff goff.
Am I allowed to see said GIF?
You are allowed to see.
I want to see the GIF now.
He's deleting my computer. Look.
Oh, and then he calls for Linda. Yeah.
Dead lol.
Yeah.
Dead
Yeah.
lol.
Yeah.
Lol.
Lulls. For the lulls.
Oh, IRL. All the law.
Ruffle mouth. Ruffle mouth.
UL. Yes. You know what? Yeah, I'm not going to give a score for this one. Why? Not yet. I want to see what Kenny's brought in.
You want to see who wins?
That's right.
Well, I mean, if we're going on the calibre of last week's, this is funny and has nothing whatsoever to do with miscarriages. So
Well, that's true. I realised a little too late that I also had misjudged it.
Yeah.
What was maybe the light-hearted thing to bring into a fun quiz show joke about miscarriages? I just want to say, it's because it's bad that never mind, you know what? It's fine.
Well, let me just ask this. Kenny, what you brought in this time, is it better than last time's?
I think so.
You think so? Okay.
I brought in
What have you brought?
every meme.
What?
I'll explain in a moment.
Okay, I want to see every meme. Go ahead.
This is the Temerian language.
Oh, that's
So Des looks confused, and the reason Des looks confused is because I don't think you've seen this episode of Star Trek.
that's because Des is an uncultured swine. But I get it, Kenny, and I want to say right now, give Kenny the point. Absolutely, Kenny deserves the point for this.
Oh, excuse me.
This is
Who's in charge here? Okay, it's not you. Don't get to dictate who gets what points and where they go. It's up to me, people. No, you can't. Okay.
There's reverse psychology. He's trying to make you all give me the points by angering you.
You know what? You know what, Ash? No. -4. Okay, that's right. tried. I wanted you to win, and you keep messing it up. This is on you. Okay? Do you want to go for -5?
When I used to run the game show,
Sorry. No.
I used to let you get away with so much.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're not in charge anymore, Mister.
Retroactively, Des, you have now retroactively lost every single episode of the Great Big Geek Game Show.
One person will be happy. Hi, Ross. So, Kenny, why? Okay, you know what? Defend yourself. Why should Kenny have gotten the point?
I've not even explained it yet. Hang on. Right, so in an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, Picard meets a race of aliens who communicate only through cultural references. So everything they say is a cultural reference, which means that Picard can't understand a thing that they're saying until he realizes that's what they're doing. Now that's what we do. We communicate through memes. And so really you can put the text of any meme at the bottom of a picture of a Temerian, for example, a couple, the boyfriend distracted, the girlfriend shocked, which is distracted guy meme, and it makes sense. And from now on, I'm not using regular memes, I'm using Temerians with text for everything.
It's brilliant and stupid all at the same time.
My specialty.
It is, and you know what? That is what the internet is. It's brilliant and stupid and full of cat videos all of the goddamn time. You know, that deserves a couple of points. Yeah, I think that would have gotten 3 points. But the fact that you had to explain it to me, you're only getting 2.
So he's only getting 2 because you haven't got an understanding of popular culture.
Yeah.
You don't understand the internet. And you host a show about the internet. I think Kenny deserves the full 3 points.
I think I should go from -10 this episode.
People, what I was literally about to do was after I gave Kenny those 2 points, I was going to turn to Ash and say, Ash, I think I've been incredibly hard on you. I wanted to wipe the slate clean and start you off again on 0 to make this a level ground. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Ash is now sticking on -5. As we move into our next round, Rated on Reddit. This is where I have asked both of our contestants, good luck Ash, to bring in their best stories from the website Reddit. You know, Reddit. That place where people like to whinge and complain that isn't any other part of the internet. I have asked both of our contestants to search for r/stories about Kevin. And I think for this time we will start with Ash. Ash, let's hear your r/stories about Kevin.
The Kevinest Kevin I've ever known was my stepfather's brother-in-law. Kevin was in his 60s when I first met him, and I don't know how he had actually made it that far in life. There are many stories about him, but there is one that just stands out in my mind. My stepfather, Mom, and me were helping Kevin with a garden. The first day, my stepfather ploughed the ground. Giggity. I added the giggity.
Okay.
While Mom and I were throwing out the rocks. Maybe not a giggity there.
That's a no.
Yeah. It was really rocky ground. The next day, we were dismayed to see how many rocks were still in the garden. Mom made a comment about it seemed like there were more rocks today than there had been the day before, and Kevin overheard. Well, that's because there are more, he said. I was confused and asked what he meant. Looking rather confident, he said, the rocks had babies. At this point, I thought he had to be joking, so I said that it does seem like that sometimes. Kevin was not laughing. However, and he repeated his assertion that the rocks had had babies the night before. My stepfather heard all of this and pulled my mom and me aside. He told us that Kevin was 100% serious. My stepfather had heard all this before, and he explained that Kevin genuinely believed rocks reproduced. The rest of the day, Kevin decided to educate us about the mating habits of rocks. It was hard not to laugh, but it did give us all a story to tell. A few of you, this is an update, are wondering how Kevin thought rocks reproduced, so I figured I'd explain a bit more. He thought rocks could move, but they could only move a little, and only at night. This was his explanation as to why you never saw it. He didn't go into more graphic details as to how they actually mated, though.
That one was actually pretty good. That was good. And for that, if anything, I love that you were committing to an American accent every time somebody speaks. Because this is week 2, and last week the accent was
Yeah.
Chef Kiss.
I know.
This one was a bit. I'm going to be honest with you, Ash. It was below par for you.
I had a bit of like phlegminess in my throat, and because of the whole COVID thing, I didn't want to risk spreading it by going. "Ah!"
You mean just by doing that there
Yeah.
now? Yeah. Swing and a miss there, Ash, wasn't it? I think for that one, 3 points. 3 points, which makes you
Minus
-2. Perfect. Kenny, let's hear your story about Kevin.
So I should say again, I don't know anything about Reddit. It's all new to me, and also I found this story 5 minutes before leaving the house.
Is that a proviso? So in case this one goes horribly wrong?
It's not good.
Oh.
I barely read this. So let's see how this goes. True story. It begins. I work in a dog groomers, and a client just called for the price of a bath and nails. I asked, what kind of dog? She says, I don't know what it is now, but when it grows up, it's going to be a black lab. I was dumbfounded. Literally, I asked her how old it was. She said 3 months, so I'm thinking maybe £20 max. So I tell her I'll be $20 to $25. Oh, they're American as well.
How adorable! There we go.
Swear to God, this lady brings in Red, and he is a Pomeranian. A Pom. I said, sorry, but this is a Pomeranian. And she tells me, well, I know it's gonna be a black lab because I have the papers at home. I pulled up pictures of labs and Poms on the computer, and I still think she believes it's gonna be a black lab. And I'm gonna drink wine. It's not even a punchline.
It's
Boring.
R/ stories are about real life, okay? And sometimes real life just doesn't have a punchline. If anything, Kenny, I think you've undersold what you did there. Because you brought in some just truly brilliant misunderstanding of everything we're doing here by being completely underprepared.
I'm like, my strategy is like, you know that guy that you get to be your best man, not you personally.
Thank you, yeah.
But that people get to be their best man,
Yeah.
and then they think like, it'll be fine, I'll just go up and do my speech and I'll wing it. I'm that guy. Why not tell the story about how you shat yourself on a roller coaster in Pompeii or something?
Wow.
The classic Pompeii roller coaster.
Yeah, you know, that classic story.
Yeah.
You know,
I once was going to do a speech at my grandfather's funeral, and again, I hadn't prepared either. There was no punchline, it was awful. Sorry, Grandad. The only relief is that he's actually dead, so he didn't have to hear it.
We're all going to miss him very much,
Yeah.
and that's all I've got about material.
yeah, for your honest sincerity there, Kenny, that's 2 points. And for Ash, for just being openly honest and so sorry to you, Grandad, you get 2 points. So you are now at 0.
I got 2 points for losing. I'm such a millennial.
That's right. That's right. So the scores at the end of that round is Kenny is on 4 points and Ash has clawed his way back up to a level 0. As we move into our next round, the IMDb Price is Right. As I've explained last week, everybody remembers the game show The Price is Right, don't we, Ash?
Yes, we do. If you remember that.
No. I just wanted a yes, and that was all that I wanted. I have chosen a particular year, and I have chosen 4 films from my year from the IMDb online internet movie database.
IMDb database.
That's right.
Databasey. Woo, databasey for you.
By Samsung.
You know jingles on TV. Well, there's a jingle. It was like it was about Comet, the electronics store, and their advert would end with "Come to Comet," and they'd have an image like of the word "come," and then the T would shoot on. But my young brain didn't realise that the way words sounded changed depending on the letters involved at the end. So for me, it was always "Come to Cumt."
That was better than my r/ story.
I'm going to do this intro again, and I've got come stuck in my head. Fuck you, man. For those of you that remember the Price is Right game in the 90s, and I'm sure both of our contestants do, I have chosen a particular year and I have gone on to imdb.com and chosen 4 randomest movies from that year. I've then taken those movies onto Rotten Tomatoes to find out their audience score and their critic score, and it's up to our contestants to find out what their score is and whether it comes higher or lower. Just like in that game. Oh, nostalgia! It's amazing. Now, throughout this game, each of our contestants has a fresh or rotten that they can throw out. If they can correctly predict if any of the films have a rotten score or score fresh, they will get a bonus point. Ooh, and I think we know that Ash does need that. So let's start off with the year that we have travelled back to. It's that classic year of 1994. And the first film we're talking about is that classic. Everybody knows this film. It's the classic Tommy and the T-Rex. Just look at that poster. Drink it in. Drink in that poster. Look at it.
I don't want to.
Look at it.
You know what? That is a dinosaur, which is reflective of Kevin Sorbo's views. So that is, once again, a Kevin Sorbo movie.
Kenny, what do you think the critics score for Tammy and the T-Rex?
Whoa, God, look at that poster.
Just look at the
Look at it.
I mean, if that poster doesn't scream 1994, I don't know what will.
It does. Well, the thing is, the text screams the mid-80s, and the dinosaur screams, quick, get it, medical attention. It doesn't look like a dinosaur, it looks like a growth.
Now, Kenny, just so everybody can get this, can you read out the tagline for me?
He's the coolest pet in town.
That's right, he's the coolest pet in town.
Well, it's just underneath the picture of the dude, so now I kind of assume that the dude is the pet of the T-Rex.
Maybe.
I love that he's got a dinosaur above his head, but he seems terrified of the text.
Oh no!
That is the most terrifying word art I think I've ever seen.
He's dyslexic. There's a lot of hard edges in that T-Rex.
Do you know the certificate of this movie? Because I worry about the content of this film.
This film, if I remember right, is a 12.
Okay, that's probably not as bad as I'm imagining then.
I can tell you that the poster we're looking at here, this is for the rated 12 cut of this movie.
There's another rated.
There is
Is it rated on Reddit?
There is a hard 18 cut of this movie. And the reason I can point this out to you, and I have to say this, is that the Tammy...
It's because you've watched it.
I haven't. No, I have not. Dear God, no.
Is it that in the 18 version the T-Rex just turns around and goes, little arms, long tongue?
I don't want to be wearing a Jurassic Park t-shirt anymore.
You know what? No, I was going to take points away from Ash for that one, but that was actually a brilliant setup for that punchline. So no, the Tammy in Tammy and the T-Rex is played by an incredibly young Denise Richards. Stop with the Kevin Sorbo shit! I swear if you mention Kevin Sorbo again, I will just deduct more and more points off you, and you will not win the internet.
Sometimes people just want to watch the world burn.
So, Kenny, what do you think the critics score for, and we're going with the 12 cut of Tammy and the T-Rex, what do you think the critics score for this is?
I think it's got the nostalgia value.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, critics don't care about that. So let's go for 30%.
30%, all right. Ash, do you think higher or lower than 30%?
I'm going to say lower, and I'm going to say... Actually, I'm going to play my rotten.
You're going to play your rotten?
I'm going to play my rotten card. Play my rotten card.
Playing the rotten card, and you're saying that...
Much lower than 30%.
Much lower than 30%.
Like 8.
8%.
8%.
Okay. Kenny, congratulations, you get a point. It is sitting pretty on 50%.
Wow.
I know, that was the critic score.
Is that because of the involvement of Denise Richards, who was actually one of the greatest actors of the 90s, and we don't see her enough anymore, and we should?
Well, yeah, we should. We don't, but we should. Denise, we miss you. Kenny, because you won that one, what do you think the audience score for Tammy and the T-Rex?
Okay, so I figured the audience for this is rating this on IMDb, which came along after the movie. It's either going to be people nostalgic of the movie that sought it out, or perverts.
Oh yes, the dinosaur porn is out there. Yeah, Rule 34.
And I think if anyone's watching the movie, they're watching it because they like it, or because they're horny. So the high 80s.
You think a high 80s? Wow, you have way too much credit for this film. This film audience score is 43%. Somehow the critics liked this film more than the audience. And the last film that we're bringing up is that time-honored classic of Hail Caesar.
I don't think any of us got anything to say about this. It's from everything from the typography to the kind of very 90s hair and almost kind of Albert Wesker look to him.
Is that Samuel L. Jackson?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. is in this. Yeah.
Oh, gosh,
And
it's like-
Anthony Michael Hall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. God, why?
The young kid from The Breakfast Club.
Oh, the young kid from
Yeah,
That's the blonde one.
Yeah, that movie, that was.
And to think they called me an uncultured swine. So,
I'm sorry for being a millennial and not trying to hang on to the coat strings of Gen X.
coat strings?
Did you not have one of those coats with the strings that kind of tighten the
You mean a
the
hat?
hood? No, you put a hood up and the strings kind
Oh,
of
you mean a hoodie?
a hoodie. Yeah,
A hoodie's not a coat.
you used to be able to get coat versions like
Gen
these.
X did like hoodies.
It did.
Like,
Yeah. Alright.
and Des just swinging there, hanging.
Like
Am I hung by my own coat strings?
No, you're hanging onto the Generation X's coat strings, like just swinging around like a happy testicle.
So anyway, Hail Caesar.
Yeah. Ash, what score do you think the critics gave Hail Caesar? I want you to remember, Ash, that you are currently sitting on 0. So think long and hard about your answer.
32%.
32%?
32%.
32%. Okay, Kenny, what do you think? Do you think higher or lower than 32%?
Well, I mean, it's essentially an Avengers prequel movie, isn't it?
Of course it is.
So that's going to be high. Let's go for 95%.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, is that tagline? It's hard to rock and roll when you're knee deep in rubber erasers.
97%.
So you're sitting on 97. Ash, do you want to change yours?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Gentlemen, I can tell you that this film has a critic's score of 0%! This is a certified rotten movie.
Oh, it's so close.
But what do you think the audience score for this Avengers prequel? And I'm gonna go back to Ash for this one. I'm gonna give you your fighting chance here.
0. I'm gonna go. I said
You
0.
gonna stick with 0?
Yeah.
You stick with
This
0?
is rotten. This is rotten. This is more rotten than the career of that guy who was in Hercules. I forget his name.
Really?
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, point off Des for that.
Criticising Bruce Campbell.
Now you know I'll pull a little Des win this one. Okay, so Kenny.
Are you asking me the question, do I think this is higher or lower than 0?
Exactly. Yep.
Higher.
You're thinking higher?
Yes.
By much?
Oh, 93%.
I can tell you that the audience score for this film, and Kenny, you are 100% correct to go higher, is 13%. Yes. At the end of that round, Kenny, you were sitting pretty on 7 points. I am sitting on -1. And Ash, you are... That's right. You have nothing. Nothing, sir.
Starting to feel like a bully.
Yeah. Welcome to being controller of the internet. You're supposed to be a bully. As we head into our next round of comment section, where I will give both of our guests here a topic for which they must discuss and defend, whilst the other will go, no, that's wrong, and mine is better. You know, just like the internet. And then it's up to me to be like the parent, to be like, no, you're not right. He is right, or he is right, and then points to be out there. You'll see in a minute. Our next in the comment section. Okay, just before we go ahead, are you all right?
I'm okay.
No, he's okay. Kenny, are you all right?
I'm grand.
Okay, go.
Yeah.
Good. As we move into our next of the comment section, Cisco versus Picard. Now, I know that there's some of you out there whose heads are already nodding. Anyway, Ash, just so we can get past the whole everything that's just happened. You are defending Cisco?
I'm defending Benjamin the Cisco.
Benjamin the Cisco. Proceed.
This is the face of a man that wins. Benjamin Cisco, bold by choice. Benjamin Cisco was willing to get his hands dirty to save the Alpha Quadrant. Benjamin Cisco punched Q. Right? Picard just put up with him for years and years and years and didn't actually stand up to him. Janeway stuck her foot on his mouth at one point. Didn't really do much. Yeah, she was in the bath, he was in the bath, it was unpleasant. But Benjamin Cisco punched Q. Benjamin Cisco is the prophet. Benjamin Cisco, he's not the prophet, is he? He's part of the prophet. He's prophet. He's a prophet, yeah. Because the emissary. The emissary, yes. He's the. Thank you, Kenny.
Should be helping.
No. Benjamin Cisco is the emissary of the prophets. Jean-Luc Picard, well, he's a failed Tonka toy by the Borg. But Benjamin Cisco, Benjamin Cisco, he's a man. I mean, come on, Ben Cisco, he punched Q, saved the Alpha Quadrant, badass as fuck. I'll give Picard, he can negotiate, but Ben Cisco cooks a mean gumbo.
You had me right up to he demand. And everything else you said before that died a slow, horrible death. Kenny!
Benjamin Cisco punched Q. Yeah, it's true. Q, an all-powerful entity who Picard tried to reason with and tried to talk to for all that time, and Benjamin Cisco just came along and punched him, showing that he doesn't bow to all-powerful entities. Or does he? Because when the prophets came along, basically just a bunch of aliens that live in a wormhole, and said, hey, Benjamin, we want you to do whatever we say and obey our every command, he went, I'm like a god now. I'll do whatever you say. Benjamin Cisco, who, when two of his closest friends were missing, Dax and Worf, missing out there somewhere, Dax trying to rescue Worf, that's the kind of situation where Picard would have been worried. But do you know how Benjamin Cisco felt? Horny. He decided to propose. And after proposing, found out that his wife-to-be was pregnant, I was pretty pissed off about the whole situation. And instead of hanging around, when it became a being of pure energy. Being a being of pure energy isn't that impressive. Picard did it in episode 3 and got bored of it and came back. Furthermore, and this is the real bad one, Benjamin Cisco went to the mirror dimension, pretended to be Dax's Cisco, her husband, and slept with her, and then laughed it off like it was all a big joke. Benjamin Cisco is not a good man. Picard, however, Picard is a good man. Yeah, he was assimilated by the Borg, but he got over it. Yeah, he doesn't get his hands as dirty, but he gets things done through diplomacy. He cares about his entire crew, and also he knows that there are 4 lights. Vote Picard.
Vote Picard! Like he's running for student council. Okay, you both brought up some very valid points here. Okay, you have that photo. Ash, wipe it down for God's sake. It's a little murky there, mate. There you go. That's it. Wipe the face. There you go. Lovely. You came up with some good arguments there, Ash. I can't remember anything beyond he demand. So. Oh, that's right. He did a lot of punching. I remember that. Okay.
And I would say, not going after Worf. Good move.
Well, yeah, okay, so he didn't go after Worf, that was the right thing to do, and it was the noble thing to do. However, he also brought the Romulans into the war under false pretenses by assassinating some guy, and it's not a good
Okay,
look.
right, okay, no.
Millions of dead Romulans.
No, first of all, that's a necessary move to defeat the Dominion. Second of all,
So many dead Romulans.
second of all, Garrick assassinated Renak. Alright? Not Cisco. Cisco didn't assassinate. Cisco,
He knew when he brought Garrick in what he was getting himself into.
he may have known that, but he didn't know the exactitude of what was going to happen, because he was expecting the isolinear rod to actually be accepted and not be exposed as a fake.
Do you know who wouldn't have been convinced by Garrick's lies? Picard.
At the end of the day, that is a valid point that needs to be raised, and ultimately, once the Breen were brought into it, I think it was a turning point in the war.
Okay, enough already! You've been doing this for so long, you make me ashamed to call myself a nerd. You have spoke over each other, you have threatened each other, and I have been caught in the middle, and that, gentlemen, is so internet, so well done, both of you. Well done! But ultimately, this point has to go somewhere. Okay, you brought up some good points, Ash. You totally ruined it by being you. You mentioned that Picard does diplomacy, but yet you opened up your arguments by just attacking Cisco.
That is diplomacy.
By just basically threatening him, putting him down, and then just going, what?
That is diplomacy from the conservative school of diplomacy.
Oh God, how come I keep on siding with the Conservatives?
I know. And it's an improvement from last week's episode when it was Nigel.
Yeah, that's a good point. And just for that, for the sake of balance, and let's face it, he did punch Q. Ash, you're gonna get 2 points. for that.
Oh,
2 points.
Oh, Cisco beating Picard.
I know.
Don't.
You know I'm tempted to, but I'm not. As we at the end of that round, Ash is sitting pretty good. Ash, you have points. You actually have points. Ash is sitting on 5 points, while Kenny is rocketing ahead on 9 points.
What?
As we move into our next round, the odd one out round. Yay! Everybody loves the odd one out round. Or ooh, that's what we're gonna call it.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh, stick you, your mama too, and your daddy.
You're never going to talk about this ever again. Odd one out is very, very simple. I'm going to show each of the guys a picture or a I'm going to try that again. The whole Cisco Picard thing has really messed me around. Vote Picard.
Cisco, oh no, he's winning again.
I can't. Because I'm supposed to be doing an introduction. Odd one out is exactly as you think it is. I'm going to show each of the guys here a collection of photos or words, and they have to decide which one is the odd one out. But, and here is the kicker, is that there is numerous reasons why that any particular one of these odd one outs is the odd one out. But they can only gain an extra point by giving me the reason why that odd one out is the one that I have, and not for any other reason. That's how it works. It's my game. I don't care what you say, Mom! As we move on to our first one, let's start with...
Is this one going to actually tie into the internet feed?
No.
Okay.
Alright, so let's start with... let's go with... Kenny on this one. You've got Dodgers, Dolphins, Saints, and Packers. Which one is the odd one out and why?
Sounds like a Cher song.
It does, doesn't it? Dodger.
Dolphins, Saints, and Packers. I've said all the people of the time. Never mind.
So, a lot of Saints in that town, is there?
I think this is sport,
Ooh, yeah.
which means I'm in
Internet like
trouble.
sport. Shut up, man.
So if it's sport, then I'm in trouble, like I said. However, the Miami Dolphins are an American football team. I know this because of Ace Ventura.
Nice.
The Dodgers are a baseball team. I don't know how I know that. So the question really is, what are the Saints and Packers?
Yeah.
Because then one of the other two is the odd one out. Saints and Packers sound like they might be baseball teams, so I'm going to go Dolphins, American football. And from the laughs that I'm getting from off camera from the producer, I think I've made a terrible mistake.
Is that because the producer is American and used to play American football?
Kenny, I want you to watch what I do now. Okay, I want you to watch. Are you ready? Oh. Kenny, we're so close. Your argument was valid, but backwards.
Oh no. Okay.
I'm not going to pass it over. I'm sorry.
it's fine.
I don't care. All right. The Dodgers are a baseball team, and the others are NFL teams. So you are right and wrong all at the same time, which is amazing.
That's okay. I think if I got a sport question right, my whole personality would have imploded. So
You would have automatically become the dude bro.
Exactly.
Dude, I can't handle around with this shit. Hey, all that. Ash, your four to choose from is Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus.
Saturn's the odd one out because it's the one with rings.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Kenny, you want to take a stab? You can't get any points, but I want to see if you can get this.
Jupiter is gas.
Ooh.
Right?
The others aren't.
Right, you just said a random statement there and then just
I mean,
made
it
it
is,
stop talking.
it is a factual statement of what the odd one out is and why.
The other one out is Jupiter because it's gas.
Jupiter gas.
Jupiter's a gas giant,
Right.
and the others aren't.
That's my answer.
I mean, if that's not the correct answer, then
It's not the correct answer.
how can it not be the correct answer? How am I
Because
supposed to know which
the
one
others-
you've gone for?
Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus are gas giants. Mars is terrestrial, like Earth.
Oh, one
I got it
way
backwards
round,
again.
backwards
Oh,
again.
Dear God. Oh. So, no points on that.
Okay, let's move swiftly on to the next round.
Exactly. Next round is everybody's favourite. Welcome to everybody's favourite last round quiz game show thing.
I think you'll find that this is called the final round, not the game show thing.
Yay! Ash, well done.
6 points.
Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Yeah.
It's all or nothing now.
Yeah, you know what? You got 4 points, so now you're both tied up. So everything to play for now. That's right. Ash, you've clawed up so far. You started this game on -5, and now you're tied in the last round. How does it feel? Great. Let's move on.
Going to be spending some time on the internet tonight. Excellent.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going for like a wank or something. Right. Each of our contestants gets to choose one statement from a series of 4 that I have collated, and it's up to them to decide what is the element that is incorrect. They only have one opportunity to do this before it gets passed over, and every answer must be preceded by the phrase, I think you'll find. So, let's start off. Because we are all now tied up, I think I'll go with King. Choose from the internet, movies and television, science, or music.
Movies and television.
Movies and television. That's right. Now, Ash, pay attention. If he gets this wrong, it'll be passed over to you. In the original Star Trek, Spock was a faint greenish-yellow hue to create a subtle alien, otherworldly look. While this colour is now iconic enough that you can buy pre-mixed versions of the makeup called LN number 1, the original plan was for Spock to be blue.
Thank you, find. I'm trying to get into your head here, guys. Think you'll find that the paint is not called LN number 1.
The paint is actually called LN number 1, so I'm going to pass it over, Ash.
I think you'll find that he wasn't originally going to be blue, that it was red.
That's correct.
Oh,
yes, that's right. Do you know the reason why the change?
Was it something to do with the cameras and the way the cameras worked and they kept colour? Or
It's good. It's close enough that I'm going to give you that point, Ash. It was actually that most of the people at that time actually still had black and white televisions. So if they went with blue, it looked like that he would have gone blackface. So they decided not to go for that one. Very well done. Yes. All right, and Ash, you now get to choose from the internet, science, or music.
let's go with the internet.
Let's go with the internet. All right. Let's hope this goes a lot better than the first time we did it. Everything you could ever want or need is online these days. I'm going to try that again so it doesn't seem like I'm having a stroke. Everything you could want or need is online these days. The term Google it has slipped into day-to-day chat as Google is the #1 most popular website online. Facebook comes in second so people can still say friends, and YouTube is a third sharing all those cat videos.
I think you'll find
It's going to be one of like Facebook's not number 2 or something like that. I think you'll find Facebook isn't number 2.
That is 100% correct, Ash. Well done. Facebook is actually third, while YouTube is in second place. So, everything went all exciting there, didn't it?
And the final round,
In the final round of this particular episode of Win the Internet, I can tell you that the final scores are Kenny, you're sitting on 9 points. But Ash, you are way in the lead with 11 points, and you get to own the internet for an entire week!
which means the final episode is a tiebreaker.
Exactly!
Yeah.
I didn't plan that in any way, shape, or form. So please, I hope you all join us again to see if Ash can maintain control over the internet. Hey, Ash, during this week, what will the people experience on the internet?
Mostly porn.
No change there then. Hopefully you can all join us again for the last episode to see who will be overall victorious in winning the internet. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye bye.